Know how it is.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Black Briefing. I'm one of your hosts, Samantha Douglas.
I'm Wild Style Pichelle.
I'm the token white friend, Jesse Brown, City County Council.
We have Jesse as a guest host. For me, that was like so much like, yeah, absolutely.
It's the Black and Brown Briefing podcast.
You know what I mean? Black and brown. He's not brown.
I did have an old coworker who just looked at me and was like, "So your name is Jesse Brown," and he looked like that. I was like, all right, yeah, all right, I see
What's wrong with that? Like, I was actually thinking though, like we actually have like a color gradation now. It's a gradient.
It's a corporate photo of diversity.
Yeah. We used to have multiple shades of melanin, and now I guess that's still technically true. But anyway, Jesse being here allows us to get into white people business too later
That's
on,
right.
so that's fun.
It's a method to the madness.
There's a method to the madness. But it's been a crazy time, y'all. And I know you're going to be like, oh, I wish y'all had talked about this or that or whatever. It would be impossible.
It's insanity.
I promise you, it'd be impossible. It's just too much going on. But I know a good chunk of today is probably going to go to our first topic. And it's because I feel like there needs to be like some conversations had that we haven't been having yet, which is like shocking to me. So we'll go ahead and get straight into it. Well, I guess first, how was you guys' holiday? Was it wonderful?
It was. I didn't go anywhere or do anything but skate because my family don't celebrate holidays. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a religious thing?
They say it is.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
How was your holiday?
It was good. I went down to Greenwood with the in-laws, saw a bunch of cute little nephews and nieces, got to hang out with. So, yeah, good times.
You know, a funny story about Greenwood. I was calling. I'm finding a therapist right now, and they said there was two offices. There was the Warren office, and they were like, "Let's try that one," but they're booked like way out. And they were like, "Well, the other option could be the Greenwood office." I was like, "Yeah, I'll just wait."
I used to work down there. It's quite an interesting place.
I think I'll wait.
It's for real. Yeah.
When you
My
said
in-laws don't fit in well.
okay.
To speak highly of their character, right?
Okay. So first up today, of course, it's redistricting because I mean,
Why not?
it's been so drama filled.
Why not? You've got the power. Just use it willy nilly.
I mean, for facts, especially for a, I guess grown toddler that's in the Oval Office that thinks that he can just control everything, every part of everything. There is no limit to his power. And I mean, our Republicans here locally are proving that is accurate. That there is no limitation, that they will be his little puppet.
Well, that they don't work for the people of Indiana.
That they don't work for the people.
Wow.
That they work for this toddler. And that's where we're at. Like, we got a little glimpse of hope at first with the Senate pushing back quite a bit, saying that they, the votes just aren't there. We're not doing it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of them were silent, but, to Bray's credit, he was very vocal about, they weren't going to do it. And then before we know it, we were back around to, yes, you are going to vote and show up. And they were telling him, Brian was telling him they're going to go to work, right? They're going to go to work and they're going to vote. And really, for those who don't really know these things, part of that is they want to see who votes for and against.
Right.
So if they're going there and vote, they get to actually see who they want to punish. Who
by
they
swatting,
want to retaliate,
swatting,
by
bomb threats,
bomb
the
threats.
normal, right?
Literally, you will be the subject of violent threats if you don't do what we say.
Yes, violent threats, financial threats, even financial threats. Again, they're putting the Hoosiers on the line for this, threatening federal funding,
right?
Threatening different programs like that. I mean, it's truly difficult. It's a difficult time, and I actually do, in some ways, like, understand the temptation
Okay, I'm about to say.
No.
Because if you have compassion for people getting eaten by face-eating leopards, that we're handling them. I'm like, hold on.
Not compassion, but I understand, especially with the threat of federal funding and things like that. I understand how it feels like, yo, let's just do it for now. This fool's not going to be here for forever and move on with their lives. Like, I think more happens because of pure exhaustion than people give folks credit for. Like, just like, okay, I'm just sick of it. Let's just do whatever.
Live to fight another day.
Yes. Yeah. And I do have, I understand it, but I think what is the rest of our job is to keep reiterating to them that this is a fight worth fighting.
Right.
It is wrong. And we should be on the right side of history with this. So,
and when we're talking about funding, we're talking about the Indiana Rural Health Transformation Program grant for $1 billion that allegedly was promised to some of our state legislators when RFK Jr. came to town for that whatever Make Indiana Healthy Again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quid pro quo. I have it on good information. This is the grant that we're not going to get if they don't redistrict.
Which it's funny to me because anybody who's taken even 2 seconds to look into Donald Trump's finance history, even if he promises it right now, what are the odds that we actually get that money?
Like the people that tore down the east wing of the White House still waiting to get paid.
How many contractors has he stiffed over the years? Is all of them almost?
Yeah.
Political friends, people went to jail for him.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's bad. Like
that's one of the worst things about a lying, manipulative crook. You can't trust a single thing.
Right.
You can't trust. Like I used to be like one of the things that people liked, and I still think it's one of the things people like about him, but it's just incorrect. That when he says things like, "Oh, at least at least he's honest," right?
Right.
Saying, but it's just like, no,
is he?
Like you can't even hang your hat on.
He said he didn't know anything about Project 2025.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, was he telling it like it is then? Don't feel like it.
He can't remember who these people are that he's personally pardoning.
Yeah,
right.
None.
I don't know who that guy is.
Price is the thing. You got Dr. Oz correcting you live in a press conference in the White House. It's like, yo, what is happening? I feel like this is like some kind of Chappelle show skit.
It is every day.
Need to
every day
wake up from. Like, this is out of control. I think about it all the time. Let me tell y'all, I cannot get out of my head the Chappelle show skit where they're saying, the black, for those who don't know, it's the Black Bush. I might put that in the video somewhere, but it's the Black Bush skits. But there's one where he's at a conference table and and they said, and they're asking about the war. And he's like, oil? Who said something about oil? Bitch, you cooking? And then they keep sitting there talking. And then after a minute, he smacks the water over and runs. And it's like, I swear to God, we are seeing that every single day. Every single day. Trump is like, knock that over.
Right.
Like, and hide this. And
he's trying to cut Snap again.
Yeah.
Because the Epstein files have to be released by, was it December 19th? Allegedly.
That's right, yeah.
And they said they're cutting all of those. They said they're redacting.
Oh, yeah.
They're intentionally cutting Republicans out.
We're going to get a solid black page of Epstein files.
Finally, transparency.
Right. But anyway, okay. So back to this redistricting. So
and this is over 2. Because Indiana is not quite the powerhouse in the union. 2 congressional seats that go to Democrats in Indiana. At 2 seats.
Right.
This is more than likely not going to sway the House from Republican to Democratic control.
My favorite thing is looking, because I still keep myself on Twitter just to be in the belly of the beast, paying attention to what conservatives are saying, even though I think it's damaging to my psyche. But I want to know what people are saying. And when I watch all these Republicans be like, wait, how low is turnout in Marion County?
Right. Exactly.
What if we're poking the hornet's nest? What happens when these people wake up?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Hold on. This might not be such a good idea.
You remember that scene in Pearl Harbor, and maybe that should be our opening cut right there. You remember the scene in Pearl Harbor where the Japanese guy looks and he's like, I think we just awoken a sleeping giant.
Uh-huh.
And then when after
Whoops.
they bombed Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And then you got 2 nukes dropped on it.
Right.
It's like, this feels a lot like that.
Yeah.
It is a lot like that.
A lot like that.
And of course, I took a vow not to criticize the Indiana Democratic Party until the redistricting fight is further along.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't, so I'll speak up. Don't worry.
I didn't either, so
But
here we are.
before I said agreed to not do that, I had made a status. Indiana Republicans had done more to increase voter turnout
Yes.
with this redistricting
Facts.
than the Indiana Democratic Party ever could.
For real.
That's a fact.
And of
That's a
course,
fact.
the
If we
previous
use it
me
well.
felt that way, but obviously the new me.
You had a change of heart.
You had a change of heart.
Sorry about that.
No. So I'm gonna put the map up on the screen so you all can follow along with us. But the way that they
It's hilarious.
redrawn these districts,
I have
y'all,
2 congressional
is
districts
absurd.
in my council district.
My biggest
in his council district.
In my council
I want y'all,
district.
council
my neighborhood will have 2 different congressional districts.
Neighborhood.
And I have a strong feeling that if things went, and that's a big if, and I don't believe it would, but if things went the way Republicans wanted to on the map, that my congressman or congresswoman possibly will probably have their offices in downtown Martinsville.
Yeah, right.
And I live in Riverside. I live in
Riverside wants to
33rd
be
and
represented by
MLK.
Martinsville. That's what I understand, right? Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Such a great reputation in the community.
Yeah. I could have. I live in the 3rd ward, and my representative would be representing. Was it Bedford or Martinsville, all of Morgan County?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about places like
Yeah.
I think Trafalgar,
yeah.
Bargersville. A bunch of sundown towns over there. That
Right.
Bargersville's not bad, but Martinsville is.
This is like of the maps that we've seen proposed up until this point or like floating around. This is the most egregious against Marion County. Like this is the only one that we've seen that splits Marion County into 4. 4.
Like literally,
and we knew. I said this multiple times from the beginning that you're gonna have to pizza cut Marion County in some way just because we're just so population dense. But this is absurd. This little hook situation that you got going on for the new 7, where it grabs like the Geist, like the northeast area, goes out to our eastern boundary, and then scoops back round. It's like, what in God's name? Like, what is happening? This is insane. And then too, they did nothing for District 1. It's going to stay ours. Let's just be clear. District 1 is still a Democrat district. I don't know. Y'all put all of Lake County in this. You didn't even split Lake County. What kind of genius did that?
I mean, Lake County is trending more Republican because, and they think that basically they're gentrifying Gary in Lake County. They think that that's going to.
It's not enough.
Displace enough
It's
people.
not. But the thing about gentrification is it always works a little bit slower than
It's
than
slow.
you think.
Right.
Yes, it's slow. There's way too many. They have Hammond, East Chicago, Gary, all in the same.
If
district.
you're a Republican watching, it is too many Negroes.
That's a fact.
for
No, but they didn't
For
actually
real.
think about color at all.
Oh,
They
of
didn't think
course
about
not.
race. They're actually just they've moved on. MLK would be so proud.
That's what. And my God help our Democrats in the House, but
They don't know how they don't know
yeah,
how.
because they don't articulate like data well. They kept making that point, but not actually like bringing it home, like not making that connection. Like, show us how this is like racially motivated. You can't just say that, and they just keep saying no. It's actually written to benefit Republicans. No, it's against Black people, but you don't. Nobody explains.
Mhm.
Like they didn't explain. And so we have to do a better job at making those connections. Give me the data about it. Give me how they literally have the dividing line splitting in half our Black communities right through Marion County.
The biggest historic Black neighborhoods are like getting carved up.
I've said this oftentimes, but Black folks are like wings on the city. We go northwest, we go northeast, and they have a dividing line right through the middle of our communities. effectively cutting us up so bad that we will not have effective representation. And that's important. But nobody articulated that point well. And it was disappointing, especially for our black ones.
But
And I even saw. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I even saw the House Democrats, who I will say their social media game has gotten a lot better over the last couple years.
Yeah.
Credit where it's due. But they were reposting a representative who I normally like a fair amount, giving a passionate speech defending, or fighting against this. But he was talking about, if you care about the system, if you want to defend the system. And I was like, whoa. Look at our voter turnout. People do not passionately love the current system, right? Like do not be the defender of the status quo. That is what got us Trump. That is exactly what Biden did. Trump. Yeah. So I was like, oh, why are we choosing this to be our message?
And you know what's funny through this whole thing? It actually brings up one of the points that I wanted us to talk about on here today. Is like there's a whole lot of this switching game that Democrats are finding themselves on the other side of this mind. If it's like, hold on, man, what? Like, yeah. And one of them is this. It's this Louisiana case that has now found its way to the Supreme Court. So for these maps. Okay, so right now it's passed out of the House committee. Okay, it has to go to a full House vote. Once it passes there, because it probably will, it'll go to the Senate, and the Senate will have to vote on it. So if it passes out of the Senate, that's when, we're bucked. Okay, so at that point, our only course of action is to then sue. So our probably ACLU, folks like that will sue
or the party itself.
State, or the party and stuff will sue the state.
But they put in a provision. Can't sue.
That doesn't work.
You
Sorry.
Sure? You sure?
That's not how branches of government work. That's not how branches of government work.
Y'all
That's
remember
literally
how,
why they're there.
Over 100 years ago, Indiana tried to pass a bill saying pi is exactly 3.1.
Oh, I remember.
No, I don't.
I
going
read
back
that.
to our roots,
I
baby.
read that.
Hilarious.
Just declare something to be true, and that makes it true.
So what we would stand on in suing is a provision that's a part of the Voter Rights Act. Okay. So as far as with the Voting Rights Act, we have a race-based provision in there. Okay. And so the fact that it does silence minorities and black communities and stuff will literally be the basis that they can sue on about these maps. Okay. Now, this is the problem. There's a case in Louisiana where after the 2020 census, the Louisiana State House, when they redrew their maps, even though Louisiana's population is a third black, they came out with maps that only had one majority black district. Okay. Rightfully so, the people sued. Civil organizations sued, right? Civil rights organizations sued. And so when they sued, it went to the federal judges there and they said, yeah, no, this is wrong. You should have at least 2 majority black districts with this many black people. So the Republicans went back to redraw and was like, okay, we'll take that and literally draw based on race another majority black district. Now, what did that do? It opened a can of worms because all of the white people down there, and I'm just going to say white people, they were technically identifying themselves as non-African American voters, but they were white people.
Sounds white to me.
In Louisiana. I wish I only got like a Texas accent. I don't got a Louisiana accent for y'all, but they were like, wait a daggone minute. And they went and sued and was like, you can't do this based on race. It's wrong, right? We cannot draw lines based on race. So that ended up getting to the Supreme Court, SCOTUS. So now the Supreme Court has been hearing arguments about how they shouldn't. Now, you would think theoretically, and this is why I brought up the mindfuck stuff, you would think theoretically that we shouldn't draw lines based on race. Like, yeah, right? But funny enough, they're arguing it from the opposite side and trying to get rid of that provision altogether. Okay? So if that happens, now pair what's going on in Louisiana and in SCOTUS with our redistricting efforts. Now you're starting to see a picture, right? That if there's a chance that they pass these maps, SCOTUS makes a decision that guts the VRA, and we are now looking at a situation where we don't have a basis in which to sue over these maps.
And
There's no provision there.
And I think that's disastrous for the country. But
yes, it is.
But not for Indiana.
It's disastrous for the country for sure.
Yeah, but our Indiana Republicans, and I think I'm not gonna say they're all dumb, because I think there is a lot of resistance because they know that these maps as they drew them are not they're not defensible. And I'm not talking about in court. I'm talking about you can't put enough money in all these districts to hold all of this.
Media markets. Yeah, you're going to have to, everybody's advertising in Indianapolis, even though now 3/4 of Indianapolis you don't care about.
Yes, exactly.
There's estimates saying that Democrats could lose 19 seats if Section 2 of the VRA is weakened.
Now I believe that.
19 seats across the country. That is, oh my God. And what was even scarier is that I seen a lot of the analysts saying that it's a real possibility. Like,
I mean, this Supreme Court, you never know what they're going to do. This Supreme Court is a
wash. Yeah. And so they stopped hearing, the hearings were over in October 15th, and we still haven't gotten a,
which means it's a huge debate going on.
Yeah. It's tough, y'all. It's tough. But I wanted to make sure, because I hadn't seen any local articles or anything talk about that. Everybody has just been assuming like they're going to do these maps and then we're going to sue. But what if they take away? Yeah. But what if they take away the grounds for which we can sue? What happens then?
Well, in Indiana, not the rest of the union is going to be bad, but in Indiana, I think the Republicans just bit off way more than they can chew.
Yeah.
One of the districts that they drew in, Democrats would have won in the last time Trump had a midterm election. It was plus Democrats. So already you done shot yourself in the foot right there. And then there's some other districts that they don't look like they're not, impossible for Democrats to win. I think one of the biggest issues that we've had, and I always say this, and again, I'm not ragging on the Indiana Democratic Party, because I love and support them, and I know that they're competent and doing the right thing always. But
it's a powerful vow.
Yeah, but despite all of that, we seem to keep having low voter turnout and candidates that I personally wouldn't loan $10 to. So it might be that low voter turnout is possibly because of apathy from our party, and not necessarily because everybody's a Republican. And you piss everybody off, and Republicans are pissed off. What happens is Republicans aren't going to go vote for Democrats. They're going to stay home.
Right.
Just like Democrats didn't go vote for Trump. They stayed home.
Right.
And I think what you create with redrawing these maps, especially the way they are, is it creates a space where we don't know. So everybody shows up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when I for sure feel like I'm going to be silenced, like it's a wash. Why am I even doing this? I'll stay home. When I don't know for sure, and you got Republicans telling me, no, this is ours, and you got Democrats telling me, no, there's enough of us but there's no data on it. We don't know for sure.
Right.
And
I think it's a perfect storm of getting people to actually go to the polls.
I've watched both sides and their campaigns and how they're running, and they completely miscalculate everything.
Yes.
You look at what happened, how much money they poured into Cindy Carrasco's prosecutor race, and got the brakes beat off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, you look how much what's his name, the rich weird guy,
Shreve,
yeah,
Smithers,
yeah, Smithers. Joe Hawks has evil twin.
You're right.
There's a lot of evil twins out there.
Evil twins.
Yeah, but Joe Hawks says evil twin spent like millions of his own money and still got the brakes beat off of him by Joe Hawks. And that's, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yep.
And we didn't even like him.
Right.
Let's be real.
Yeah,
Democrats, we were angry. We were going in there. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I voted for him this time. I think I scratch voted for mayor.
I did, and I apologize to my community for voting. Last time I wrote in Joe Halstead, because that was what the campaign. That was what the campaign said.
I should have did that.
But I did vote. I did not vote for my city council.
I scratch voted for 2 seats.
Okay.
And I don't regret either one. I don't
I
regret
honestly
either
don't.
one.
I remember scratch voting for at least one. I don't remember what I did for mayor.
Yeah. I'm pretty
How's
sure.
that for a politician answer?
Yeah.
I do not recall.
Yeah. But so that's where we're at. I don't know. Like I know every news outlet is beating the redistricting thing to death. So
But can we talk about the blowback by all of Indiana on these state representatives? People are going to lose their seat, even though
Yes.
their maps aren't changing.
Yep.
But the Democrats have an advantage if they can run better candidates than they have in the past. That some of these senators, they might break the Senate supermajority.
There was a
I think so.
Republican senator that came out, and his statement was really like toward rural Indiana, and he was telling them that like, yo, with Marion County having such a big chunk of all of these, districts, there's a good chance that your representation becomes somebody from Marion County. You'll have somebody from Marion County representing your rural area, and I mean, it's just not good representation. And I agree with you, which is why they should have their own, districts.
Right.
This is why. So, like we talk about race, we talk about all those other things, but there's other factors in the way that should be considered in how congressional districts are drawn, and some of that is like the similarities between the areas. When you're drawing in places like Marion County and then Jefferson.
You need specialization. It's the same reason why you don't get good pizza from AutoZone.
Yeah, right. It's a fact.
Like, because it has nothing to do with it with car parts.
To do with it. Our challenges are different. Like you got people in rural areas still fighting for internet and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can drive down the street here and there's 20 different internets on it. It's just like our concerns, our challenges are just not the same. They're fighting for hospitals out there. They're fighting for
war really bad.
I could go down the list of the things that are not even top 10 of our worries.
There's a road in Jasper County going to somewhere in near Braun's house that he's building, and the whole community. I've listen to those people. They don't want it.
Nope.
Right. But does that affect me? No, I'll probably never drive down that road ever in my life.
And the things that we do have agreement on don't look good for incumbents, like data centers, right?
Yeah.
Data center,
rural and Martin Dove
Right.
both agree on that one thing. And it doesn't matter if it's their city councilor or their state rep down there, they're probably on the wrong side of that issue. So could see a lot of seats tossed.
Now, as a community organizer, are there cool aspects to it? Yes, it's kind of cool that people would now kind of be not forced, but there's more incentive to learn about each other's issues and support in those ways, and maybe even a little coming together and education happening in that process. And I think those prospects are cool. I think more than that, just the shock of this whole thing to the system, I think ends up shaking out well for Democrats.
Yeah,
truthfully,
I do too.
Yeah,
I'm honestly, I'm gonna be not worried about it. It's one of those things that now for the country, the Voting Rights Act, no,
horrible. Right.
Yeah, that's horrible. But for Indiana, no, I don't think. If this was a big win, Indiana Republicans would have done this.
Right,
immediately. They would have it would have got done last week.
Right now, all the like far right people who are making the bomb threats and like supporting their state rep doing this, they don't understand, or maybe they do understand, but they don't understand all the implications.
I don't think they do.
They don't. No, they don't.
There is a gentleman's agreement between the tiny little vestiges of the Democratic Party that still pretend to be alive here and the Republican Party. Ask me how I know. The first time they threatened to expel me from the Democratic caucus in Marion County
was going after a Republican.
Going after Republican Aaron Freeman.
Yep.
They literally said that was why. That was messing up their game.
Yep.
To the extent that they were gonna
So when the gloves come off and there is open warfare,
right,
and you have put a large amount of Democrats in every single congressional district, you're going to have to spend money in every single congressional district to hold on to it.
Yep.
Just to hold on. You can't take
guess
anything.
What? Trump's not coming with that money.
Yeah, he's not.
And we're trending more progressive.
Yes.
And Trump
we're growing in population in all the wrong ways for y'all.
Mhm.
Not just that. I want people in like Westfield, in Brownsburg, in Zionsville. Look at all the apartments being put up. Let me tell you who rents, not Republicans.
Mhm.
Those are Democrats coming into your community.
Hamilton County is blue tinged purple.
And it's only going to continue to get more blue. And this is and that's part of the challenge too, because there's going to be a time where this pendulum starts to swing the other way. And for Republicans, what are y'all going to want or expect from Democrats? Because that's part of that gentleman's
foot on your neck
Right.
now.
Is there's exactly because that's what you're shaping up for. And I'm telling you right now, I'm 36. All of us that are coming up in these ranks, baby, you don't have a shot in hell. You better hope that you act like y'all got a little bit of sense right now, and maybe that'll appeal to us later. But I'm telling you, it's coming.
I lack empathy right now.
It's,
I'm gonna say that
it's
right.
coming.
Well, and even among the people who vote Republican, a lot of those people are holding their nose as well.
Oh, yeah.
Indiana, what is
Yeah.
it? The biggest by far, 45% of people call themselves independents,
Mhm.
right? And maybe
Yes.
they're conservative independents, maybe they're not Democrats,
But
by
they're
any means.
disgusted by
But
both
they are
parties.
disgusted.
But they're
by it.
disgusted by both
And
parties.
if you look
yep.
at Donald Trump's approval rating, if you look at every election across the country, it's like dog catchers in Georgia are turning Democratic. You know,
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yes.
Like
Tennessee just came within 10 points.
Oh
in a
yeah, I
district
was
that
gonna put
supposed
that
to be
on our
impossible,
list.
you know?
Yes,
I mean,
Tennessee,
I immediately looked at the
showing us
Tennessee
the
results,
indicators.
and what I did is I went and Googled the counties. One of
Mhm.
those counties had a black population of 3%. They had a non-white population of 12%, and she still won like 32% of the vote in Tennessee.
Right.
That
Yeah.
says a lot.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You know, and overall, it was a 6-way race, and she got 45% of the vote.
6 ways, 45% of the vote. That's huge.
And I mean, look, we all know that Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's like Indiana, so you know, it was a white woman candidate, but you know, misogyny in the South is very powerful, just like
Yep.
racism.
Sure.
Yep.
For her to do that well there lets you know that, like, no, that things aren't going to go well. And these seats, like,
No.
I don't believe that they can capture more than
And-
one extra seat here in Indiana.
And do you know how many people too that they didn't have any plans on running for anything, but just the prospect of this, like, I'm gonna run for county.
Yeah,
like
right.
y'all, that's bad news. I'm telling, that is bad news for y'all, for Republicans. It's bad news for Republicans. You
And
got-
all it takes is really it's not all about money. We saw that with Carrasco, the prosecutor's race a few years ago, and Jefferson Shreve.
Yep.
Money doesn't beat all that. And honestly, it wasn't even. I'm gonna put it out there. It wasn't competency of the Joe Hogsett campaign. That was one of the most incompetent campaigns I've ever seen in my life.
terrible.
But they still beat Jefferson badly.
Mhm.
Y'all remember the commercials with the black man?
Oh.
Where Hawksett was playing daddy to some young
Oh,
black kid?
that young man.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah, it was
Lord.
That was.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
And I remember all I did was share it, and then people was mad at me for sharing. I'm like, but he's the one that. Why ain't you mad?
it.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't even say that's bad, and people was going in on the comments, and then people was mad at me. I'm like, why don't you talk to Joe Hogsett
Talk
for putting
to
this
him.
commercial out?
And they made it seem like he even had a chance of losing anyway. He did not
He
have
did
a
not.
chance of losing anyway.
He
y'all.
I
He did not.
told the campaign people if he gets within, y'all show me polls that shows that he gets in within 10 points, I'll come out publicly for Hogsett, and it never happened.
Because there is none. Because
Right.
there was never that close.
Right.
That's why Hogsett didn't spend that much money. He didn't have to. He really didn't have to. He just had to look like he was and do a couple drunken Cupid
Best rumor
shuffles.
I heard was that the Fraternal Order of Police, which if you've ever looked at Rick Snyder and how he talks about Indianapolis,
Oh yeah,
you would assume he'd be the first one endorsing Jefferson Shreve.
and he wouldn't endorse him.
Crickets. And I heard that was actually a
'Cause
disappointment,
they're weird.
and they were expecting him to endorse Hogsett. And it came close, and he almost
Yeah,
did.
he almost did.
But-
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. I remember that was the first time he fed.
I mean, that's not shocking though. If we look back at it now,
No,
mean,
look,
yeah.
I mean, record police funding.
I mean,
Yeah.
doubled the
Hogsett
pay.
has been a
last
great
year.
Republican mayor for them.
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
he's been one of the best Republican mayors we've had.
Facts. Okay. I know we could talk about it all day,
All right.
but we are going to move on. I knew we were going to give a big chunk to that, but Next up, we got Wild Styles beef with the Wayne Township eviction judge. Wild Styles always in beefs, y'all.
I am. You know what? So what I did was I made a post about the Wayne Township eviction court. It's small claims, but they mainly handle evictions like all small claims.
Like 80%, something like that.
Yeah, in Indianapolis. And I said, and the housing project, indiehousingproject.com says tenants given only 5 days to move out of their homes at Wayne Township Small Claims Court. And it goes and it talks about that people had verified that people were coming out of his court, and they only had 5 days after the eviction to get out, and which only equal to only 3 business days, because his court is usually on a Thursday. Well, he has courts on a lot of days, but the Thursdays, they only had like 3 business days to get out. So I make this post. A lot of people share it. There were some mean things said about Judge Coleman.
That's not illegal.
No, I think legally you only have to give them 48 hours or something.
Really?
Oh, it's horrible.
A judge only has to give them 48 hours, or anybody?
No, the judge can.
Just the judge. Okay.
But this is unprecedented.
Yeah.
No other. I don't think any of the other courts do people like this. Like most of them get 2 weeks. So I make a Facebook post about this.
2 weeks feels too short.
It is, but I mean that's like
okay.
So I make a Facebook post about it. People said a lot of mean things about Judge Coleman, which I was happy about.
Delighted by.
Delighted. He deserves every bit of it.
Something about a barbarian. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, that was later. So the Facebook post was that. So then some of his supporters came in and was saying all types of wild stuff that was factually untrue. And they were saying that I said stuff that wasn't true. And I literally said that in Judge Coleman's court, like, you may only get 5 days, 3 business days. And not to say that he gave everybody like that, gave everybody 5 days, but he gave a lot. And so then, of course, it gets back to Judge Coleman, and he schedules a whole info session on a Friday at his court and a press conference.
I love it. Don't you love it when the villains double down? You would think, like, anybody with a brain would think, oh shit, let me not let them think this is true. Let me start giving them some more days, or let me start. You would think like, let me clean this up. No, they don't think let me clean it up. They think let me double down on the nonsense.
So they put that out there, and they put out something on his letterhead. He wrote it. It's on his letterhead that says that there was inaccurate social media posts saying that I only give people 3 days and all. It's like, first of all, that's not what my post said. I said you give people 5 days and 3 business days because your court is on Thursday.
Right.
Yep.
And so he gets out there, and so that's when I had to go do the video, and I might have made a whole graphic that. We could put the graphic up there.
Yeah, we could put the graphic.
Judge Coleman, the barbarian, because what he was doing. and then I had to go dig into his recent past and everything, and talk about, like, he had already told the Indy Star that that's what he normally gives people. And then the day the Indy Star was there a few years ago, he evicted a terminally ill woman.
Jesus.
And gave her 5 days, 3 business days to get out, and she was terminally ill. And so by this time now, people are calling my phone and wanting me to come out there and meet them. And I'm like, why? And, well, first I was willing to meet him, but then it became like a big, he was going to call a press conference and all this.
Oh, Lord.
And, I know how the Marion County Democratic Party works.
Yeah.
And so if I came out there and all of this by myself, and I had to tell the person over the phone, I'm like, then I got to explain to my dad no, I don't own a machete, but they threw one out there and said that I can't attack them with it. And my dad's going to look at me like I'm stupid because you should have known, son, that that's what they was going to do. Are you stupid? So I said, no, I'm not coming out there. So he has his press conference, and Mirror Indy covered it. And he cherry picked. He showed like 87 evictions from the previous 2 months, and he had percentage rate. he had given most of those people 7 to 14 days. But the problem was in that time, he had probably 200 or 300 more evictions. He literally cherry picked them. So what Mayor Indy did was they looked at the evictions that he had
Y'all
done.
couldn't see my face, but my mouth dropped. My jaw dropped.
So instead of having to go fight what he cherry picked, Mayor Indy looked at the evictions he had done the day before he had that press conference.
Yeah.
And they found that he evicted most of the people and gave them 5 days, 3 business days. So then the update was we looked at what did he do for Thanksgiving? Because most of the other courts were off.
Yeah.
There was one case in another township, but it had been an ongoing eviction case for months. He was the only one that ran a regular eviction schedule. And so that Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, Judge Coleman evicted 70% of the people that he had and gave them 5 days, which because of the holiday equaled 1 business day.
1 business day.
Instead of 2 business days. Or 3 business days.
And what his and just for clarification's sake too, just to be clear, what is in his power to do?
He can do anything he wants. I mean, I'm serious.
He could have not had those cases on Thanksgiving Eve.
They have complete control over what they put on their docket, which days, how it's scheduled, because that's another issue is that in order for you to have, if you get evicted in Wayne Township and you end up in his court, you don't know when your eviction's coming up. So you're going to have to be there all day. Now, the other courts, they're set up like, oh, no, we're only doing evictions this day and you're going to be up this way. So you don't have to be there all day, you know, in case, I don't know, maybe you're trying to make a living.
Yeah.
So you could pay, pay for a
fact.
place to live.
Right.
You can't do that with Judge Coleman. They have complete other authority, all the authority over how long they give somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They can force the landlord to go work with the people. I've been to courts and watched the judges. They have broad latitude to do this. And Judge Coleman doesn't because apparently he hates the people in Wayne Township. I mean, I know,
right? Like, what else? What other conclusion?
Yeah,
could you come to, though?
I mean, you're not doing this out of love.
That's why I wanted to ask because, like, I don't think people understand or know how much power these judges have, and how when they're doing messed up stuff like this, literally you're just doing this by choice. There's no
and let me say there are 9 other eviction courts. You have all the townships and you have Marion County Superior Court that also does evictions. Mm-hmm. Decatur doesn't have the volume. The Decatur is pretty bad, but Wayne Township has the volume, and he does this to a lot of people. In fact, a few years ago, he evicted more people in a month than the entire city of Fort Wayne, Allen County combined that month.
Jesus.
And, I did have one friend who knows Judge Coleman who was like, man, I think Wildstyle's doing him dirty. I don't think it's fair. I think he's trying his best. I was like, okay, let me try to hear you out. And, they're like, well, yeah, technically they have leeway, but what would happen? And you can't really abuse your power and blah, blah, blah.
And the other 8 judges are
and look at Todd Rokita.
Exactly.
Look at what someone can do, pushing the boundaries of what you're allowed to do legally, what you're allowed to do with your law license. But he actually cares about the evil things that he cares about, and he's willing to put that on the line to try to get his political accomplishments made.
But I want to be clear.
I want a judge that gets disciplined for being too kind to tenants.
Right.
For real.
But I want to be clear. Judge Coleman.
Is that abuse?
I'm not asking Judge Coleman to put anything on the line. Almost all of his contemporaries, all the other judges, are giving people 2 weeks. He is the odd man out, literally. Like, I'm not asking him to do anything like to go above and beyond. Just get to the bare minimum of what of decency that your other colleagues think is decent.
I mean, and just like as a judge, like, be considerate.
And that was
like, this is you're worried more about these landlords that they're probably in freaking wherever for the holiday and stuff, but you have somebody in your courtroom who literally, like, between you and some of the worst days of their life between them and some of the worst days of their life is literally you. What you decide to do.
And let me say something else, because when I went after him on Facebook and there was people coming there, the mom and pop landlords, I physically went through the My Case records and looked at these evictions that month, and the people that he had given 5 days to, 3 business days, all of them were renters from big corporate landlords. I'm talking about ginormous 200, 300, 400 unit complexes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Like, so he wasn't doing this to help, I don't know, the grandpa that I don't know was renting the house.
And he has all the information to make that determination.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Well, and because these people, these big corporate landlords, their attorneys are there every day because they're on retainer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so he knows exactly what this is.
Yep.
And he was not doing this like, and I'm looking at the cases like, you can't tell me all these people deserved 5 days, 3 business days to get out of their home for these big corporate landlords. And
that's not, and I understand that's like where we're putting the most focus on, but I really like the other argument that you started to make earlier, in that like there's so many other options too than just evicting them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep it in mind, like right now we're saying like you can give them more than 5 days, like Jesus Christ, but I mean also you could explore other options.
You can tell. I've physically watched the judge tell the landlord, no, you will go work with the tenant on payment arrangements for this, and I'm not evicting them.
And that's
And that judge is still there, and to my knowledge, that person has never been had a disciplined or anything. I've never heard of it.
So Wild gets into beasts, but they're good beasts. They're worthy beasts. It's the
John Lewis said,
the good fight.
Good beast, right?
Yeah, it's the good beast.
I'll try.
All right, next one up. OPHS bungles winter contingency and dismantle the eviction prevention program. So those are really 2. I should probably split those.
No, because it's the same person. It's the same person responsible for both. Yeah.
So we really, I'm going to come up with a better, more creative name for this segment that has to do with Merkley and his mustache. And maybe that's what we'll call it. The Merc and the stash. But they
bringing shame to the white man with mustache.
Right.
My community.
The caterpillar that's doubling as a stunt double for his mustache. But they OPHS bungles winter contingency.
Again.
My God. But if you've been following us for a long time, one of the things that we said is this white man has failed up. Hello.
Many times.
He was terrible with our homelessness initiatives. He's going to be terrible in this role too. And lo and behold, here we are, watching him and his mustache dance on the news. But with the winter contingency, they decided unilaterally, without talking to anybody else, without talking to any of the advocates or the experts or the people who work in this space.
Or telling people in advance.
Then you know what? We're not going to start our winter contingency plans until December 1st.
When it usually started November 1st.
November 1st.
Now, there was some controversy because what was said in the IBJ was basically it was delayed, and Merkley refuses to admit that they didn't have their stuff together and it was delayed. And he says, oh, no, we made that decision.
Even though that's definitely what happened last year.
Exactly. Even though that's what happened last year, it didn't happen this year. It's not delayed.
How dare you?
We've trusted in climate change that it's going to be warmer in November, so therefore
going to hand out swim trunks to every homeless person.
Exactly. We're going to keep the pools open a little bit later.
What's so sick about that too is like, let's be clear, when they're talking about it trending warmer, they're saying, from it was 50. Now it's 54.
Yes, or probably 52.
It's not like it's not. This is not significantly warmer. This is still there are still plenty of 20-some degree days in November,
and we got them.
Yes,
we had several. We had several days, and snow and precipitation.
Yep.
And 2 or 3 times in November that our shelters should have been open for homeless people, and they weren't.
What day was
Again.
our Good Neighbor Project kickback? It was snowing that day.
It
early
was
November.
snowing.
Yeah.
It was
Yes,
bad.
it was snowing bad.
It
that
was
day.
bad.
What day was that?
I'm trying to remember. I
It
can
was
look up.
before my birthday, wasn't it?
Mhm.
I think it was
Yeah.
before. So it
It's
was
like the
before
7th or
15th.
something like that. It
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
early. Yeah.
Before the 15th. Yeah. Wow.
And
I
winter
forgot about
contingency. We should have had shelters open. We did not.
yes.
And their plan was this. They said, well, they can go to the library, it's only open during the day, and the parks family centers was only open during the day.
Right.
I was like, what is
The same Parks Department that they just defunded this year
Defunded.
in the budget.
and then tried to lie about, because I have to go around these parks and you hear about like how many of them are not staffed, but that's all. We could do a whole nother segment about that later. So yeah, he did nothing for him, and then wants to act like, well, it's warmer out there. Like, really?
It's a warmer out there, and you'll have idiots that'll go out there because just this year it just so happened because my birthday is usually always freezing cold, just November 15th. But this year it was like 60. It was like 60 some degrees, and it's like, oh, but y'all, that's still a low of 40 something.
I mean,
that's
You
still
can't bank on that every day.
No, and that's not every day.
and the last 2 days of November was horrible.
Yeah, and our
Horrible.
unhoused folks, they have to think about every day, not every.
Well, they had some good days in there. Well, no, that's not how that works.
That's not how that works.
You only freeze to death on the bad days.
Right,
Like,
right. It only has to happen once.
Yeah, it only has to happen once.
Oh my god!
But check out his portrait in here as he's telling everybody, let them eat cake or let them eat snow.
Look at his view of the city, looking down on
It's
all
like,
the
well,
peasants.
he says, we have witnessed November warming over the last few years, he said, as he looks out at the, and
He's
let me
looking
put this on the
I'll
screen.
put it up.
Let
As he
them
looks
eat
down
snow.
at all the peasants. Figure it out. I have a warm home. Why do you have a warm home? That's cool. Thanks, bro.
And he's also dismantling, well, he says that,
And that's part B of this.
he's also dismantling the
The
tenant
eviction.
advocacy program.
Yeah.
But real quick before we leave off of that, what was it? $400,000, right?
Oh, yeah.
That they just
Oh
admitted.
yes. Oh yes.
They
yes.
just finally admitted in
Yes.
committee hearings this last month in November that they had underspent to the tune of $400,000 for winter contingency last year. The one that
was
started
delayed.
super late, right? Where a bunch of people froze to death on our
I was
Yes,
just about to
yes,
say people died.
People did die
died.
last
And
year,
they
and we talked about
underspent.
it. People died because of this.
Go back and watch. There's recordings of Merkley's confirmation hearing. I think I was the only no vote, and it was because a dozen people came up to testify and talked about how horrible the conditions were. When we had money, we could have just given those people hotel rooms.
Yeah. $400,000.
And it's not like we didn't know winter is coming.
Right.
That's every year.
We knew winter is coming.
Jesus.
Just like last year when he bungled it, he knew that the next winter would come.
Yes.
And I would have a lot of empathy and sympathy for people who, because I don't think there's any department in our city that has enough funding to really get the job done. But when you are just making up these BS talking points and
Yeah.
defending the decision and letting your boss, who's actually causing these problems, get away with it,
Yeah.
and you're not letting the buck pass you, and you're
Yep.
holding the line, well, then you welcome this,
Yeah,
right?
you-
You're saying it's your
Yeah.
choice. You're saying it's your decision.
Yeah.
You're saying it's based on data.
But that's
So now I guess we have to
that's why
critique
it's
you.
so important that you had so many other people, advocates, experts in this space stuff saying
Right.
that no, they didn't talk to me. No, they didn't talk to me. The article that I have linked in the description down below, you see a whole bunch of that. Pastor Green, nope, didn't even know about it, didn't hear about it.
Right.
Nothing.
I mean,
Like,
and the worst,
you have-
the worst part is if we had known, maybe we could have done something to take up the slack, but we didn't know until it was
take
too
up
late.
the slack or to tell you no, that's a dumbass idea.
I will give
Like,
the city
no.
a very rare Jesse Brown praise for food access in November.
Yeah.
Right. So there was the snap
Yeah.
cuts, and
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the mayor was on vacation, so somebody competent got to do it. I don't know what happened, but I do know that the city put some money down right away,
Mhm.
and they got a lot of philanthropic partners to meet it,
Yes.
and that we provide a lot of money and helped avoid
Yeah.
people starving.
Yeah.
And that just shows, and that happened like with very little notice. It wasn't like winter is coming; it's going to happen every year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like we are actually capable as a city of coming together and solve these problems when we admit there's a problem and when we
Yes.
ask everybody for help, as opposed to
Yes.
just say, no, actually, we didn't want to open earlier.
Yeah.
This was what we wanted to do.
And we know that's a lie, but
Right.
But since you said it, now we have to take you at your word. Well, now you're dumber than you already
exactly.
looked.
Jesus. So the eviction prevention program. So talk about TAP. And I don't think we've talked about TAP. We've talked. Oh yeah, because we were talking about during the budget.
Yep,
we
and
TAP,
I went off about it then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually emailed Director Merkley. I was very, very respectful. In fact, I'm gonna post the exchange.
We'll put it up. On
put the
screen.
exchange, and I because the rumor was that it was being dismantled, and I said, "Dear Director Merkley, I'm concerned about recent reports of the tenant advocacy project being dismantled for 2026." And I go and ask some very specific questions, 2 of which he did not answer whatsoever, so I have to go ask it again. But he tells me, "Wild Style, thank you for your email. I'm unsure how this misinformation manifested itself regarding dismantlement of the tenant advocacy project. As you may know, I am one of the original architects of TAP.
Lie. We need a lie button.
And further developed the program and the city's response to eviction diversion over the last 4 years. I advocated for and was granted additional funding for the city county council to continue supporting the program in full in 2026. Now,
I wasn't part of a whole lot of budget conversations, which, cool, thanks, appreciate that. But I still was talking to a lot of my colleagues, and from their perspective, it was the exact opposite of that. It was the exact opposite.
This is from a city county councilor.
It was city county councilors begging the administration to move at least a little bit on TAP, because I've talked about what happened last year at the budget season, and Dan Parker playing chicken with the city's budget, or with the city's credit rating. So we wanted to not do that. There was a big push early and ahead of time, but it came from the council, not the other way around. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm getting the misinformation.
No, you're not, because I knew.
You mean it came from people elected by the people and not from the person appointed by a piece of shit?
Weird.
Merkley, and if you're watching this, Merkley, I knew you were lying because because I've been advocating and going around as a lobbyist talking to go get you this funding for years. Merkley, you were so incompetent that you did not know that you talk about you further developed the program and you're one of the architects. You're so incompetent that you don't even know that one of the original tenant navigators was a woman named Kenita Pichelle, and it's my aunt. Some other people I've known my entire lives. One of my neighbors, my mom, helped staff the tenant advocacy project. One of my best friends runs it. You think we all stupid? You know what I'm talking about. You think we all stupid, Andrew? We're not all stupid. And that lets me know that you actually did not have much to do about this, because you wouldn't have written something like that if you had even been able to look at a piece of paper and seeing that Kenita Pichelle, and my last name is Pichelle, it's not very common, is a tenant navigator.
Idiot.
It's embarrassing.
Idiot.
But as of
or that you were around from the beginning, that you guys were involved in helping.
Jeff Bennett came and talked to us about this. In fact, the CICF just put up a post about them hearing from us as community ambassadors about the rental assistance program, which was the tenant navigators works alongside of that. So we've been in there since day one.
Right.
And yes, I personally help staff. Like there are people there that have, and I'm not a boss, but there are people there that worked for me.
Yeah.
So Merkley doesn't know what he's talking about. And Merkley, you, as of taping of this podcast, you didn't answer my other 2 questions about, since you said that they all.
When did you ask him that?
I asked him to provide me a direct me to the job posting and job description.
Oh, yeah.
Of the new tenant navigators, since you're getting rid of all of them and you told them they could reapply. Well, that should be a simple.
I'm saying, when did you send him this?
Oh, I sent him this last week before Thanksgiving.
Last week.
And he responded with that mess, but did not answer my actual questions about it. He also wouldn't tell me who was managing the new version of the project. He just didn't answer. Well, Merkley, I'm not stupid. Could you please answer it? And if you've answered it by then we'll have it up by the time this goes out. But I'm not stupid.
It's not. He's not going to answer because he doesn't have an answer. And what they're probably trying to do is scramble and throw something together so he can send you a link or something.
Yeah.
Like that's because it doesn't exist. They're lying. I don't know. Like,
have I talked to y'all?
So
I'm sorry. Go on.
No,
go
go
on.
ahead.
Have I talked to y'all about the dog park and the mobile bathroom before? I can't remember if I've talked about that on this show.
No.
I would remember that combo.
I feel like I would.
Among all the district I represent, I also have the area right near the Wheeler Men's Mission,
Okay.
East and Wabash Market area.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, homeless people outside, which means they're preyed on by drug dealers and pimps and all sorts of problems. There's violence there sometimes. Not super popular with a lot of the neighbors,
right?
Which I do understand where they're coming from. Although, we got to be empathetic. We got to find solutions that are human focused. So I was at a neighborhood meeting where Andrew Merkley was there representing the city before he was the director. This was last year sometime. And the city was explaining how they were opening up a new dog park there on Market Street. And so they were going to move the mobile restroom near the dog park to help all the people there for the dog park. And when I tell you, every single person in this room was like, you're obviously putting it there for the Wheeler Men's Mission. And some people were like, and that makes sense. And I'm glad that those people have a restroom. They need it because there's people, otherwise you get urination on the walls and stuff like that. And other people didn't like it. But either way, it was clear what the actual thing was. They're like, what? No. This is so that people who live downtown are walking their dogs to the dog park. Gosh, where could I find a restroom? Maybe my house I just walked from 2 minutes ago.
I'm gonna go use it in a
better
shipping
go to the
container.
mobile. Yeah, go to a shipping container. That's the experience we really want for our downtown apartment owners. It was just nonsense. And the fact that they, obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious. I don't think he came up with that talking point, but because he was willing to stand in front of the crowd and say it and watch everybody just roll their eyes at him.
Maybe he should go into vaudeville.
I think that's why he, was that's somebody with promotion written all over him. He is willing to toe the company line, even when it's total obvious lies. Like
he should go to the IRT.
That's disgusting.
Merkley, you're embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
But I was respectful in that email.
Embarrassing. I regret all the time that we spent up so much force making sure we didn't get a terrible deputy mayor that I feel like
we missed you.
Yeah.
We should have directed it towards you.
That's a fact. Well, both.
Both, yeah, but both were bad.
Both was bad. But I hate that we lost that steam, that we didn't just bulldoze that too. And I don't know, in fairness, I don't know if it would have worked at that point because they had the council had rejected 2 already at that point. So I don't know if we would have had the juice to reject another person. But man, we should have put up a better fight.
Yeah.
We should have put up a better fight. I hold that because I think about that all the time. He's terrible. Now, would they have put up somebody else terrible? Probably. You know what I mean? Like that's,
he's got his job through attrition, though. It's like,
it's really so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So, okay, next up, we have the Indy City Council moves inmate medical money after 3 deaths at the county jail.
Well, I promise.
We've been covering the deaths. I feel like we've been tallying them at this point.
We've been tallying them.
We've been tallying them at the new Justice Center. The new and
that was
improved.
built to be safer and more humane.
Yep, and it's been more deadly both for inmates and sheriffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been equal opportunity in there.
Equal opportunity, but this has a funny story because this is kind of this is not a funny topic, but it's kind of funny because this is another one of Wild Styles' beefs.
It's not. It's our favorite counselor.
It's Leroy.
Leroy. And I promised him a segment.
And Leroy got your ass too. He was telling you, nah, that's not what it is. Watch, it's gonna be a different. And we did get a different article.
And Leroy was right. Mirror Indy put out an article or a blurb saying that he had directed like $6 million away from the inmates medical fund, and he got on my post and he was like, "That's wrong. It's this and that." Well, he didn't actually explain it. He said it's wrong, it's poorly written, it's misleading, blah, blah, blah. And if they do a correction, or they retract this, are you going to be as vocal? Okay, well, Leroy, you were right. They were wrong. You moved $630,000 from the inmates medical fund. Mirror Indy retracted it. Good job, Leroy. You were right. You only moved $630,000 from.
But he isn't mentioned in that article.
Yeah. He's not mentioned in the article, but we'll get to that. He's not mentioned in the article at all. But they moved $630,000 from the inmate medical fund in a year that they had 3 deaths of various medical issues.
Yep.
So Leroy, pointed out that he wasn't mentioned in the new article to me privately. And so I went and look for the ordinance, and his name is the only name on the ordinance. The only name, Leroy. Your name is the only one. You put your name on this. Don't blame me.
And I'll tell you, right before we voted about it on Monday, I said, I find this totally unconscionable. I don't see how we could possibly vote for this. I think it's immoral. And then that vote went 24-1.
Jesus.
And so how they've already been around trying to explain it to people. Well, they didn't use the money, and this is how we do just so they can use the money. Okay, well, you killed 3 people.
Right.
Yeah.
You killed 3 people this year of medical issues.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it. So by moving the money from medical when in a year that 3 people have died, you incentivize them to kill more people next year because they know you'll move the money again. Your job as the Public Safety Committee and the Public Safety Committee Chair, Leroy Robinson, would be to find out why people are dying in our jail.
Yeah.
That we spent $600-something million to build to be more safe and more humane. Instead, you've incentivized death and destruction at the jail by moving the money. Like, we didn't use this $630,000. Well, you had 3 people die this year.
When was the vote on this?
Monday, this week.
Past Monday.
Yeah. Just Monday after Thanksgiving.
It
came out
last week,
wasn't
it?
Yeah, and it was because a documenter was sitting there in the public safety meeting, and they heard this.
Yeah,
and they didn't quite understand it. Well, what was going on? But that's how I knew because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mirror Indy, even though the initial article was a little bit wrong, it alerted us to what's probably been going on. I don't know how many times they've moved money for them.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely moved. So I got into it with the sheriff last year when there was an Obama FCC ruling change that stopped letting them charge prisoners so much for phone calls and video calls.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheriff wrote a letter being like, well, this is really unfortunate and disappointing.
Take that for Obama didn't do anything.
I was like, wait a second, what? And so, you mentioned how disappointing and bad it was that we were not allowed to overcharge and just rip off imprisoned people.
Yes.
And I wrote, and I was like, hey, I find it really disappointing that an elected Democrat is saying that this is one of the very few things that I actually thought was a great thing. I don't think that's disappointing at all. I get that makes your job harder because now you have to come to the council and ask for more money. Or we're stopping fleecing prisoners.
Or you could go to ICE.
Yeah, right.
Which is what he did. Forrestal is the devil.
Yeah. I think that there have been moral decisions made that I'm a person of faith, and I would not want to have to answer for those.
That's a fact.
But and my thing is, it's like,
when's the sheriff up for election?
Oh, he's not running.
I know.
For sure.
I know. But who is?
But who's running? And have they made any statements about this? Are they promising to do anything different?
I said, okay, I want the audience. Y'all pick the bigger villain here. Is it Forrestal or Leroy Robinson? I don't know. Granted, Forrestal is the one that, lets prisoners die and everything. But the Public Safety Committee and the chairman I've also aided and facilitated. It's like, well, maybe if you didn't let them move out of the medical money, or at least ask questions about the safety of prisoners in there, maybe Forrestal wouldn't be able to do this.
I've lost a lot of faith in our Public Safety Committee, period, with the council. Just, I'm in truth. It's very rare, unless it's like a clear. It's very, and this feels clear to me, but maybe not to all folks. But I mean, we've consistently been let down by them.
Yes. Police
and-
chases and
Yeah,
from outside.
and nothing happens. They don't even investigate. Like, to your point, like they don't even try to get to the bottom of anything. They don't even try to get the public more information, because that's the other thing too. It's just like, you're an elected official. You are there representing other people. You do not have to have all the answers yourself. You could literally take these things that are being proposed, take it out to your community, be like, hey, they're proposing this thing. What do you think about it? Like, that's the other piece that I don't think that we emphasize enough, is like, we don't expect you to just know it all.
No.
And just know where everybody stands, or to be like this perfect, saint that just constantly thinks about other people and blah, blah. But on the things that you don't know about, or on the things that you're not clear on, or the things that you think that you are, go and ask your people.
I mean,
like, that's what the job is.
I mean, as the public safety chairman, you have to know that 3 people died in this.
You have to. But in case you didn't have to look very far to freaking find somebody who would tell you. My God.
But if by chance he watches the podcast, he would have known, because we definitely talked about it on the podcast, haven't we?
He mentions the podcast every time I see him out.
Well, Leroy, we just want you to care, bro.
We want you to do better.
Yeah,
we do.
I don't hate you. Now, the families of those people, I mean, they could hate you, but I don't hate you, bro.
It'd be understandable.
Yeah, it would, completely.
I've been sitting here thinking, do I even want to say this on the mic just in case? Because, like, for a little context, last year, if I haven't mentioned this, VOP and every Democrat other than Kristen Jones voted to change municipal code to make it harder to bring special resolutions. They were that upset about the ceasefire resolution.
Oh my goodness.
They literally talked to everybody, got 18 sponsors before they talked to me about it. I was like, you could have just had a conversation. Like, I'm not that unreasonable. So I hate to like mention things about how city code is structured, because maybe they're just going to go and quickly change it real quick. But we have a lot of power as the council that we do not currently use.
Oh, I know.
We have so, like, the investigative committee.
Yeah.
It's not like that's earmarked only for investigative the mayor and Thomas Cook. We could do an investigative committee about whatever we want with subpoena power that we would actually use. I'm not saying we should. That's probably a waste of taxpayer money. But I mean, when
people
who are like, what am I
jail?
possibly going to do? It's like, your hands are not tied.
I mean, the biggest thing, I once got an email from Leroy saying that the city council had no other job than to be a fiscal body. He said that.
Sure did.
So the time, so Leroy, the time that you actually had the leverage as the fiscal body, you was like, here, take the money. Yeah, you killed 3 people, but take the money and do whatever you want. Have a pizza party at the end of the year.
Which is funny that he used that terminology, because I have people who are on the board of animal care. And those people are like, hey, we want to talk about the policies. There's some things that are very unpopular with volunteers and with the community. And so we just like to get into that. And the mayor's people said, oh, that's actually not in your purview as the board. You're only a fiscal body. You're only allowed to say yes or no on the budget. You can't actually propose the budget. You can't ask us for policies. You can't do anything, until the people were like, some of us board members are attorneys, right? Like, can you show where exactly that is? And they're like,
Jeez.
Oh, I don't know where you got that misinformation. No, of course you're able to do that. So they just, they say it until somebody calls them on it. It turns out, actually, that's not true at all. They've just been lying to you because it serves their interests.
Yeah.
So,
ooh, there's y'all, we have a new segment coming up later, but on Brief Thoughts, I have something for this. I have a brief thought for this, because that's Jesus. Okay, we have to move on, because we're getting there. ILEA. Okay, now it is not ILEA at the state, it is ILEA here. It's the new board we were gifted with.
Indianapolis Local Education Alliance.
Yeah, to decide what are we going to do with IPS.
Dismantle it is what they decided.
that's like,
but I knew that when I saw the makeup of the board, I knew that's what was going on.
And you know what I'm hearing? They're like, better we dismantle it than the state dismantle it. And it's like,
how?
What? What?
It's complete foolishness, man. And to the credit, the IPS representatives, including Alicia Johnson, voted against this mess. But the other person, one of the mayor's picks to be on the committee, was like, well, we have to think about what the state legislature,
Yeah.
state legislature is going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Why do we have to be us and them?
Yeah.
Why can't we let
Yes.
them be them?
let me cut off your arm so that they don't cut off both your legs.
Right.
And it's just like,
now you don't got no arms or legs.
yeah, it's like, hold on,
Why
what?
would I show up and vote? Why, like
Why
you're both
would-
on the same
yeah,
team.
What? Like, it'll really cook your goose when you realize they're all Dems.
Mm.
I had, as a community advocate, I had to shut up about this because what I knew is that Brandon Brown of the Mind Trust is going to go to the state legislature anyway they didn't get everything they wanted the first time. He was going to do that anyway. And when I saw the make up the board, I was, that ILEA thing, I was just like,
Fix is in.
the fix was in. I knew
Yeah.
what was going to happen.
Yes.
And it was just, I hate to say this, Samantha, but I've been in the quality of life plan in my neighborhood, and I know when you're wasting your time in meetings and stuff, and it's the fix is in, and that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's going to go the way out here, but
I refuse.
but in my neighborhood, that's how it was, and I saw them doing the same thing. It's like, okay, what I realized in my quality of life plan was that they had neighborhood plans that were at that time like 8 or 9 years old. And this is where they wanted our neighborhood to be. And they sat us around the table until we said, this is where we want to be. And that's what the ILEA thing was.
Yeah.
But not everybody got there
Yeah,
because it's a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I didn't make this meeting yesterday on, what was it? Today's
Yeah.
Thursday, so it was Wednesday
Yeah.
after Thanksgiving. I missed that meeting, but I was getting live texts from a bunch of my friends who were there. But I was at the previous meeting where I spent almost 4 hours, sitting through the dog and pony show,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah,
predetermined
it's horrible.
outcome. But what they said explicitly, because they were doing things like Dr. Patricia Payne cutting her off right at 60 seconds of cutting her mic, which, even pro-charter people were like, wait a second.
That's
Like, this is a woman
disrespectful.
who has spent
Mhm.
decades of her life fighting for public
Yeah.
education. So they were doing stuff like that, and they kind of caught the vibes in the room. And they're like, well, hey, don't worry. We're going to have like 3 or 4. We're going to have all
Right.
sorts
That
of
was always
different-
the thing.
We're going to listen to so many
Always.
different public information sessions. We are, and like, here's these 4 god-awful models that we're going to propose. Only one is even worth even thinking about. But don't worry. I mean, these are just some ideas. Like, we're open to anything. It doesn't have to be just this 4. Cut forward to like, a week and a half later, they have an ILEA meeting scheduled at 4 p.m. on a school day.
Mhm.
So, who can't make a 4 p.m. meeting is educators and parents.
That was
Exactly.
that was
You would
my
think
choice.
should be part of the alliance, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But yet they still packed the room. A bunch of people organized childcare and like figured out who was
Yeah.
going to do drop-offs. Tina Algren, who's like the best person on that board by far,
Yep.
had to figure something out because as a teacher, she would have been helping with drop-offs still
That's
at that
insane.
point. So
That
had to
is
get
insane.
coverage. So showed up anyway. The beginning of the meeting, they said, don't worry, we're not going to actually vote on anything tonight. Like we said, we're going to do public input. Into the meeting, they're like, well, let's just vote to narrow down to 2 options. And it's 2 options that both take a ton of power away from our democratically elected school board
Yep.
to give it to the mayor.
Yep.
And
So,
Yeah.
so we went
charters.
somehow.
and charters. Like,
Yep.
it's not even just the mayor.
Well, I mean, the mayor is just a wind vane that blows whichever the bag of money, pushes him towards. He doesn't have a spine. He doesn't have a brain.
That's a fact. Did you guys see? Oh, I wish I could remember the woman. It's oh my gosh, she makes like content. She's a content creator. But she's like, oh, look at, and she like dusted the snow off. She's like, what's this? And she lifted it up. It's like, oh, it's the spine.
Oh, I saw that.
That was
I
so
saw that. I was
good.
like, what is this thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
And I was like,
love
all
that.
right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
she's
that.
killing
But
her
the
social media.
Spine is gone. Spine is gone.
Yes.
There's none. There's 0.
Well, and I mean, like, so I just did a little video about this last week because, I've been fighting, like DSA has been doing a ton of awesome work, fully funded, fully public committee, and, got the parents council going. And actually, it's going to be too late by the time you all see this because it's a press conference just in a few hours after time of recording. But we're
Yeah.
proposing a separate plan and basically just saying the ILEA is totally illegitimate.
It
We
is.
don't say that they do not represent the city or parents or teachers or anybody who should care about this.
Yep.
And so, in fact, here's a better model. But so anyway, I was doing a bunch of research and just like looking back, and I was like, okay, like let me just remind myself, catch people up because I'm starting to get a TikTok following and stuff for people out of Marion County who don't know Joe Hogsett as well.
Right.
And so I was like, let's just look at like how many different like headlines from news stories can I show? I just was looking at all of them because like it just happens every couple weeks that we find some
Yep.
horrible headline about our mayor.
Yep.
But it's like this man should be worried about going to prison for the
Yeah.
corruption that
Period.
he's already been caught on.
Period.
How is he trying to get into new corrupt deals right now?
Yeah.
The Together Ed, which is they're just making it crystal, like the fix is in. You
Yeah.
could tell they're going to try to get the contract for transportation or facilities. It's what's his name? I'm forgetting his first name. Greg? No.
I don't know.
Rosenfeld.
Mm.
How am I forgetting this man's first name? I just mentioned it to Pastor Green earlier this morning. I want to say David Rosenfeld. He was Holcomb's commerce secretary
Oh,
and the head of the IEDC.
Jeez.
Oh my
Which,
God!
speaking
The
of corruption,
IEDC.
Right. He was declined for being on other boards because of apparent conflicts of interest. And he was like, what are you talking about?
This is a white man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who is
That's
now
corrupt.
deeply tied to this Together Ed. And it's all pro-charter people who are friends with Brandon Brown, who now are poised to get this contract and get big old paychecks off of the public dollar in order to do something that IPS was already willing to do for them. That they have excellent staff people, which even the ILEA admitted that their staff is excellent and already knows what they're doing.
It's
It's a grift. It's stealing from the public to give the mayor's friends money. And I'm sorry, I'm just ranting at this point, but one more quick thing
that's
you know?
legit.
is, you know who's in charge of the ILEA, who's running it as a project manager, is Michael O'Connor, who's a guy, he seems like a nice enough guy, sure, whatever. Hogshead donor from the past, imagine that. And how are they paying him? Like, why would he volunteer his time? Oh, it's because ever since Judith Thomas left the city, they have not filled that role. And so
Yep.
they're taking a deputy mayor's salary and paying this person to dismantle Center Township only.
Getting paid so much money.
And he gets $40,000 a month for this.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
$40,000
I saw that and I saw
taxpayer
that.
dollars a month. Didn't go before the council for approval.
Well, hold on. Judith wasn't getting no $40,000 a
No.
month.
No, she
Nope.
was not.
So I don't know. They took
It's like
her
100,000.
executive assistant staff and everything else. Who knows? But like, yeah, $40,000 a month. And if you look at like, you should try to find them and put them up. What these little PowerPoint slides
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
proposed look like. My wife was just messing around one evening and was like, for this new plan that we're going to propose at this press conference, and she
Yeah.
made a much more logical thing that looks actually better, but like theirs
Yeah.
in 2 hours at home on
Jeez.
PowerPoint by herself.
Right.
And so we're like, we should invoice the city 40 grand for this.
No.
You
you know?
should. You
No,
should.
for real.
Please send it over, please.
Jesus.
That's outrageous.
$40,000 a
month.
month. I did wonder where that was coming from. We should have talked about that sooner, but I always forget. There's so much stuff happens in
I
between us
know.
recording
I know.
that I
which
forget.
you know, as a reminder, just a point of context, we could have funded our parks department the same level we did last year, as opposed to taking $200,000 of it and still had like over $100,000 left over.
Yeah.
If the mayor had just said, no, I'm not spending taxpayer money to do the Republicans' work for them, why would I do that? No, I'm not. Like, I'm over 11 different school districts. Why would I spend a bunch of time and taxpayer money fighting against one of those 11?
Exactly.
You know, also too, just as a side point, I would like to point out that we do not have a deputy mayor of neighborhoods and haven't had one for a long time, and our neighborhoods feel zero different.
No comment.
I was just thinking of that when you were saying that. It's like, oh yeah, they haven't. Funny enough.
The administration doesn't care about neighborhoods.
Whether somebody's there or not. So
I mean, you
words
know,
of terrible leadership.
I mean, you when you have everybody's hands tied behind their back, it doesn't matter if you're a deputy mayor. Because I knew some good deputy mayors,
Word
but
to
they had both
terrible
hands
leadership.
they had both hands tied behind their backs.
Terrible leadership. That's the other thing too. Like, oh my God, what were we talking about? I was talking to somebody about something with the city, and I was like, honestly though, like until we get a whole regime change,
Regime. That's what we're in.
till we get a whole regime change, it's gonna we're gonna continue to see stuff like this. I just don't I was talking to somebody about like, is Hogsett gonna make it to the next election? And unfortunately, it feels like he will, but at the same time,
Thanks to VOP.
that's
Mhm.
also yes. It also on the
Great
flip
job,
side, it's like
Bob.
he should not like you said, like you should be worried about prison time. Whether you're keeping your seat as mayor should be like, no, that's done.
Right.
No, that's done.
Obviously not.
Packed up. Yeah, obviously not. And it right now. It feels like an obvious thing that he's gonna make it to finish his term. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. And the fact that we keep glossing over the fact that there's a whole lot of allegations. And I know technically he didn't get allegations, but the stuff that he did is enough to raise suspicion on him as well.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, his staff was sexing developers, attorneys, and everything else, and they were They had
He was sending poems to what? He was sending poems in the
he's
middle
a
of the night.
poetry freak.
Freak is right.
Freak is right.
It's a poetry freak.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
That no.
The worst part, and I got to give her credit. My wife told me to watch this podcast a couple months ago, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then I finally watched it this last weekend. It was a podcast Brandon Brown did on charter folk, which is apparently the nation's top pro charter school podcast.
Oh my God.
They're interviewing him. And they're like, man, how did you get away with this BS? Like you seriously, you got away with this? This is ridiculous. And he's like, yep, it was 20 years of fighting for this. It was before my time on the Mind Trust. Mind Trust has been pushing for this. They talked about how in 2011, they had this opportunity schools report that came out, and they were able to trick Indianapolis public schools into doing the innovation schools, which was basically just what they called for. And the other thing they called for was mayoral control to get rid of the democratically elected school board. And he like kind of paused for a second. He's like, and the ILEA is going to do their work, and that might happen. But it was like very obvious that it's like, oh no, the Mind
we
Trust
need to cut
did
these
this.
clips. Oh man.
Oh my
and
God.
both
we
he
need
and the
those
guy interviewing
clips.
him were like, like, how did you get away with this? And they're like, yeah, even our funders, the beginning of this session in 2025, they were like, there is no way you're going to get away with this. This is ridiculous. You're going too fast, too far. People are going to revolt, but we did it. It's like we moved the Overton window. Even our funders were threatening to pull money, but we had to just tell them, don't worry, we've got this. And, and so I'm thinking back to that.
Please send me that
on
link.
camera. Absolutely.
Please send me that
Absolutely.
link. I will put that link.
I was
in
like,
the
let me just find a
description.
couple clips. And I just sat there like this for like the whole hour that he's talking, just because it's nonstop craziness.
Oh, I gotta drop that into.
Well, we got to cut
Clip
some
that
clips of
up,
that.
yeah.
Though.
And it just makes me remember, because I was in some of the House committee hearing rooms when the ILEA was being proposed. And
Yeah.
I was talking about how this was a Republican plan to destroy public education. And I remember Andrew Ireland's little smirk as he's like, actually, it's Democrats who asked for this.
I remember
and
that.
I know for a
remember
fact that was Joe Hogsett and Maggie Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Who
And
then
Maggie
happened to be on the ILEA itself and make this decision. So the Democratic Party, by the way, if you care at all about the platform that we commit to fight for, says that we support public education and should be opposing this kind of stuff. And yet two of the most powerful Democrats in the city are the ones leading the charge to destroy public education.
Is it just two? No.
well, two are
Because
comfortable.
I think Vop has put in some
Comfortable putting
very
their head and shoulders out there.
You
And
know-
smiling about
Vop
it.
has put his head down and put in some quiet, solid work.
That shiny head.
Mhm.
Okay.
But who gets expelled?
Exactly. Well,
Nobody's better here, but
We have to, because we're at an hour and a half.
oh Lord.
I know, right? AES interview. So Black
be
Indie
brief.
Live. Yeah. Black Indie Live and Wild Style at the last minute was pulled in. They had an interview with AES to talk about like their billings and these like deposits that showed up on people's bills, $600 in some cases.
Yeah.
How was that?
I'm sorry. I wasn't actually prepared to talk about it.
Oh.
I mean, other than like, I don't remember the people's names and all of that.
Okay.
But I was brought in like the last minute. I help out with Black Indie Live
Right.
As needed.
Yes.
And they had made this situation where, well, we can only talk to you this time and this day, told LaRon that. And then they decided to bring an extra person. So he wanted to bring me in and listen. And what I gathered from it is that they admitted that they have problems with the system. I'm in researching. I only had a couple hours to in advance notice, but I also learned that they also had problems with the same system and the exact same problems in Ohio. The exact same problems that we're having this year.
right as they're trying to sell to a big corporate behemoth. That's really strange.
When I did get to ask them that, and they never said anything. They didn't even really acknowledge that they had problems in
Knock off the glass of water.
Yeah, exactly.
right. You see, every day.
That they were committed to doing more open houses, and they said, well, are the people calling, because there's been a lot of complaints that when this happens, they can't reach anybody. Like, well, are they calling? And I'm like,
what do you mean, are they calling?
I thought they was calling, and one of the people that put his bills up there is a very connected person. and very smart too. I'm like, I would think, but
who? This is what's. What do you mean? Are they? You guys have that data.
Yeah.
You're the best source of that data.
well, you would think.
And if one person calls with that egregious of a story, like
Yes.
I was a manager at a call center, right? Like we'd be like, uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's double check
Like-
everybody's bills. you
Well,
know?
that's what we said, so they talked about it was an error that the system flipped out and miscalculated, and then the guy went into some sort of speech about, and he had the numbers to do this, and it was supposed to subtract and divide from that, but it did this and did that instead, and then was just like,
Sounds like some lies. I ain't gonna hold you. It sounds like
I don't know what happened.
we almost found a way to slip in a few extra charges. And we wanted to see listen, word to the wise, slip them in, smaller.
Yeah,
You know what I
was,
mean?
Well,
Those might have made it by $600. I'm not missing that on my
that's
bill.
like redistricting to 9-0. That
You know what
blows
I
up the game.
But
you
that-
put a little $20 deposit, and I'm like, yo, what's this? What's that? You might be able to do some mad stuff on me.
But
Jedi
they
mind trick,
were
but-
adamant that before they even explained what went on, they were like, because they had read the comment section.
No, they watched that podcast. Was like,
Yeah,
if Brandon
right.
can get over on that stuff, surely we can get past
These people are
$600
dumb.
deposit.
They assured us that they do not get to keep the deposit money, and it somehow it doesn't make the money. I don't know how they tried to explain it. It didn't make
These
sense.
people aren't getting their money back?
No.
Oh.
Whatever deposit that they were charging,
Mhm.
even if they kept it, they didn't actually profit off of it somehow. And I was like, really? How does that work? Like, they give you the money, but you don't actually profit off of it? I don't know. But
It's
that's what
like
they told
it's like banks telling you, but we're just holding it.
me. Yeah.
We don't profit. What? That's the business.
Or it's that person that loaned money to last week.
That's-
I'm just holding it, bro. It's
yeah.
yours anytime.
But I'm just what?
Just hold it.
You don't.
I'm not
Profit
profiting
off
off
of
of
it.
it.
How do you not profit off of money coming in?
It was a lot of stuff that was said, and all I can say is they committed to doing more open houses and trying to fix this. I don't know what's
To
going on.
nothing. They
Yeah.
committed to nothing. Is what I hear. It's unfortunate to me that people get bamboozled by this stuff. I was actually just talking about this last night in a meeting, and let me tell y'all, there's nothing I hate more than when I'm putting the screws to somebody for some specific things, and the community comes in as human shields.
No, no.
Like, oh, well, she just said this. Well, she just said, oh, it was intentional. And this, if my BS meter is going off, just shh. Shh. Like, just shh. I promise you, it will work out for us all in the end. And if my questions are useless, guess what? Doesn't change a daggone thing, except they know that they're going to be held accountable. There's somebody actually looking and paying attention and hearing what you're saying. Like, that is important, and we have to do that work. And actually, that leads us to our new segment, because I have two things. We have a new segment called Brief Thoughts, y'all, because what happens as we go through these things, I think of like these just overall themes of stuff. That's like, man, I would love to have a space where we just kind of tuck those in there, where it's just opinion based. It's not a necessarily news articles or anything like that. One of them has connections, but the first one, and you spoke to this a little bit, and I was just now speaking to this, but I had a pastor in the past who said, people don't do what you expect, they do what you inspect.
I like that.
I love it.
I like that.
Black folks love, a rhyming word and alliteration and all that.
Yeah, we do.
And this is one of, and it sticks with me because I think all the time we need to do a whole lot more of inspecting, because my God, today we are expecting things that are not happening, just like the Brandon stuff, just like this stuff, just like with Ilea, just like with the community, the public safety committee,
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
I could go down the list, and all of it just comes back glaring that we are not inspecting. We are not inspecting. And so we have to make sure we're paying attention, holding people accountable. That Mirror Indie article came out a week early, and I'm guilty of this too. I was not at that council meeting Monday either. I actually think I had a conflict, but we have to do a better job at when our media, when folks like Wildfire or me or Jesse, when we're raising alarms about things, we have to make sure we're following through, that we're reading the details, that we're calling our elected officials, that we're having these conversations. Now, sometimes it doesn't make a difference, but at least you removed excuse. Like, we have to start inspecting. And then my other one, and I'm gonna let Wildside get his. My other one, real quick, is so a while back there was a chick who told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Y'all remember that? And it was around like the Black Lives Matter stuff and not standing for the national anthem and all of that stuff. And what's interesting is I'm actually going to argue the opposite point, because I'm going to take hers and actually use it where it's appropriate, because she was trying to tell a black man that he can't talk about or advocate being a black man in America. That's crazy. But where I do sometimes want to tell people, yo, shut up and dribble. We had Nicki Minaj speak to the UN about Christians being persecuted in Africa.
Which is not a thing.
Baby, shut up and go rap. Baby, shut up and go rap.
Yeah, because she just she shelved her album.
Oh my God.
Like, you behind. Get back on the job. Get to work.
You in front of the UN. You belong in front of the stew. And let me tell you, this is not like Bono or George Clooney, or where people who are actually educated and advocating for things worldwide, right? Who it makes sense that even though they're artists or actor or whatever, it also makes sense for them to go speak to the UN. Or like Akon, when he talks about stuff in Africa that he's invested in, stuff like that.
She been advocating for cocaine use or something like that. I can understand
my God,
that.
what does she have to do with it? Nothing. Okay, shut up. Also, more recently, you got Mike Epps talking about Snap and how it's a good thing that black folks was cut off. Listen, bro, go find a mic and a stage, my guy, because talking about Snap is apparently not for you.
I was so sad by that. I was legit sad. I was like,
oh
hey,
my
man,
God.
come
So
on.
the shut up and dribble. We probably I feel like that could be just a standing, like.
But Malcolm X talked about black celebrities running into this stuff, and some of them aren't educated about it.
I beg you. This is what I beg you. I am not one of those people that's like, you cannot speak on things outside of like I'm not trying to box you in. What I am saying is go get educated before you say and do dumb things. That's because it's dangerous. Because it's
times
dangerous.
like this is very dangerous.
My God. And you had one too. You had a brief thought.
Oh yeah, conservatives that want to be won over.
Want to be won over. Prove me wrong, bro.
Prove me. Look, I know some of the conservatives. They come to my page and they want to argue, or they want to be won over. Like literally, one told me last night. They want, well, y'all calling us racists and bigots, and this is, it's not going to win us, bro. I don't care. I'm not trying to win you over. I don't care about your thoughts. There's enough people not voting now that if they actually started voting, those people that actually care about their communities and neighbors and people, other human beings that aren't sociopaths, if they voted, I don't have to deal with you, and I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not going to prove nothing. I'm not going to argue with you all the time. If I go back and forth, I think, okay, maybe they just misunderstand, or I'm entertaining myself, which happens a lot on social media.
That's what, y'all, nobody cares. You wasting your time, my time, everybody's time, and all you're going to do is end up being the butt of one of my jokes. So just be done. But you know what? Not just conservatives. I'd venture to say I did that to Ron Gibson. Remember when he got on my post?
Yeah.
Fool, they need to get rid of you and this data center. What? Get off my post.
Yeah, we're not going to debate.
Care.
I mean, I'll debate it if you want to, but it ain't going to go far.
But it's like a Charlie Kirk thing, right?
It is. They think it's supposed to be that.
Like, I don't think you deserve the right to exist. Prove me wrong.
Right.
It's like,
no. We're beyond talking.
That's not how that works.
Why? Why would I talk to you anymore? Like once I've classified you as a clown, I expect you to do clown things.
Yeah.
I expect you to say clown things. All of that. So once I put you in my mind as a fool or as ignorant, I no longer want to hear anything that you have to say.
You're not going to argue with your dog about drinking out of the toilet. You put the damn toilet seat down.
Right. That's a fact. What? Like nobody. Come on. Okay. The rundown. We're here. The rundown.
Oh, it's
First one. Nick Roberts has an evil twin? He
can't-
does.
I am infuriated that all these people knew about this all day and I didn't see it until the night. I'm like, nobody said anything.
He has a dun dun dun.
I'm looking. I'm like, why did the indie star misspell his Nathan?
Why does he have a mustache?
The mirror Nick Roberts.
Waluigi, yeah.
Wario. Oh my
Wario.
I've never been so confused in my life. I'm like if I did drugs or something, I would have been like, what? What is going on? I'm looking. I'm like,
my God, that was so funny. Yeah,
I know so many people who like double clicked on the picture, like, are you sure that's not? I was like, I promise you.
I saw it on Instagram. I see him speaking, and I'm like, why does it say Nathan? Like they done messed up his name and everything. And I'm looking, I'm like, who?
Somebody needs.
Is that Nick? Well, who is this?
They need to do a half and half, like Two-Face. And it's just the mustache. The mustache, the only thing is different.
Yeah, right.
But this was definitely a Spider-Man moment.
You said
Spider-Man
earlier when you said he has the slightly sneakier eyes.
Just the slightly evil looking eyes.
The evil eyes, the dark soul.
Oh,
hilarious. You know, one of my favorite things, Dana Black put up a post that said Nick and Nate Roberts defy all twin science.
Yes.
And somebody commented and said Nate's testimony is simply far right wing propaganda talking points. And Nick Roberts responded and said, he's an idiot. It's like the Grinch. Like, you're an idiot.
In that same thread, too, have you all seen Jackson Franklin, who's running for Congress in the 5th District?
Yes.
You know, he's a triplet.
Whoa, wow.
And all three identical triplets are all like Bernie Sanders style Democratic socialists.
Okay.
So how did you guys figure it out? But these two managed to.
You know, speaking for folks who have siblings that you just don't get it, let me tell you, I promise you, same household, same parents, same everything, and somehow, some way, they just turn out different. Okay?
Yeah. I mean, I argue with my dad about a lot of stuff, including homelessness, but we don't talk about that. We got in an argument in another continent one time about that.
So somebody put this in my messages and I absolutely adore it. But somebody said during the testimonies for the redistricting or against redistricting, the committee hearing, House committee hearing, they said KSB is testifying about redistricting after disenfranchising Black Dems and candidates. Womp, womp, womp.
I mean, but in fairness, they did call a subject matter expert.
Woo, man.
I'm sorry if that broke my pledge. Oh.
It did. It did.
Oh, I've messed
It
up.
didn't. But I mean, that's tough.
Kudos to them for.
Kudos to them. I wanted to make sure I uplifted that point because yes. Dems perform well in rural Tennessee. We already kind of talked about that, so I won't go back into that. Black woman, like we had to at least mention this. I know it's been a little while now, but a Black woman was forced to deliver her baby on the side of the road.
And this is common.
We have talked about the way that they treat Black women in hospitals on this podcast so many times, and specifically pregnant Black women,
right,
and how our infant mortality rates and our maternal mortality rates in some of our zip codes rank with third world countries and stuff. We've talked about this till we're blue in the face, and still we are doing this nonsense. I was happy to see though that the hospital was swift.
Yeah, they
fire everybody
fired
involved.
people.
Yeah, and it was a Black leader of that hospital.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a black man. I'm pretty sure that's the picture I saw. Black man quickly fired all of them. Love to see that because you cannot continue in this way. But this is ridiculous. I feel like it just underscores all the things that we've said before, so I'm not going to go back into it. The birth fund, as far as I know, is thriving. Praise God. But we need these kind of things across the state. And also just to remind folks that racism is alive and well. It hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, maybe if Black people say that they're in pain, they're in pain.
Yeah,
but how come everybody's saying that? Huh?
Everybody that comes to the hospital says they're in pain.
Maybe
weird.
A pregnant woman who says she's in labor is in labor.
Right.
I think she is the expert above any doctor. because it's her body.
Right.
And there's a whole freaking cantaloupe coming out of it.
They told my mama that too over at Methodist all them years ago.
Yeah.
And she definitely, my dad drove her right back, and she definitely had had my little brother within 23 or 27 minutes. I can't remember. It was one of the two.
I've had 4 children. Let me tell you, nobody can tell me that I am not about to drop a human being out of my body. Nobody can tell me. Nobody. So that, like, we have to stop. Like, we have to stop. We have to start correcting these things. And this is why. And just like in the redistricting stuff and the stuff not being based on race and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Racist people ruined that a long time ago.
Yep.
You made everything about race. And now we have to at least consider it in everything because of what you did. You set us on this track. I would love to say that we could all be colorblind. And
merit and excellence.
Yes, merit and excellence. And no, but not even consider race. And we would love it.
Right.
That's not the reality, though. And keep in mind, this is a reality you created. You created this
Correct.
reality that we have to now, like, counteract. So now we can't ignore it. It is there, and it's ridiculous. Last thing, I had to copy. This is the title of the Black Indie Live article, and I just had to put it here, y'all. So we all know that there was a shooting at a Fisher's bar.
In the bar.
In the bar. Okay. We very rarely actually get news coverage of these kind of things, but wouldn't you know, it happened. It doesn't just happen in Marion County. It happens in Fishers and other places as well, or Indianapolis, I should say, in Fishers as well. But the title was The Legless Man Accused of Killing Man on His Birthday After Dispute Over Vape Pen.
Insanity. The wheelchair mafia rides on Fisher's boy. And that boy was racist, man. They had pictures from like 2011 in the caption. It looked like he had legs then, by the way. And he said hunting niggers.
Oh my God.
Swear.
I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, I saw a legless man accused of killing a man on his birthday in a dispute over a vape pen, and I said, they're white.
Yeah.
Immediately. What? Immediately.
There's certain stuff that like we might kill each other over, but it's not gonna be that.
Immediately. Okay. You tell me somebody got killed over a dice game, they're black.
They're black, yeah.
Immediately.
A vape?
But a vape pen and Fishers, and I ain't got no legs. I'm laying you down.
Yeah.
You're white. I'm sorry. But I just
pure insanity. And I hope they get it together. You know, I mean, let's be honest. The day before that happened, somebody took a gun to the Hamilton Southeastern game. The day after, or 2 days after that, they found a gun at Fishers High School. And then the Carmel, they arrested the one person at Carmel Clay Schools for fudging the timesheets and stealing. Like, it's been a crime
culture up there.
It's a crime wave.
Parents just don't care about their children.
Nope.
You know,
hopefully Beckwith sends in the National
Those
Guard.
need something to do.
Oh, and you got Beckwith up there anyway, but they need to send in the National Guard for real up there.
This White People's Business Rundown was brought to you courtesy of Jesse Brown.
White people send all comments and complaints my way.
So that is a wrap for us, y'all. As always, like, share, subscribe. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. I would love to hear it. Not promising that it'll change anything, but
and it could even get worse. But anyway,
but share. Also, let us know what you want to hear us talk about, y'all. There's just too many things for us to be able to cover. Look, we're almost at 2 hours. Like, it's just too many things for us to be able to cover everything. So if there's something that's specific that we have missed or that we have continued to miss, please let us know. You can obviously hit up either Wildstyle or me individually, or you can comment in our videos. I do try to make sure we keep up on those. Other than that, we're working on something special for our year anniversary next February.
Mm-hmm.
So keep your eyes peeled for that. Super kicking around an idea, maybe a live podcast situation. Yeah, it'd be fun. We're definitely thinking about it, working on it. If you want to contribute anyway, if you want to be a part of it, anything like that, let us know. other than that, I think that's it. Thank you all so much
Thank you.
for being here
Yeah.
with us again for another episode, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Know how it is.